Tiny, a lot of people want to avoid tax. How to avoid tax legally?
Okay, so a lot of people, the government with the cash economy is basically, making it smaller and smaller. So the government's not going to chase you if you're, taking a few cashies here and there. In other words, if they know tradesmen will do a cheaper job if it's cash, so forth. So there is still this cash economy going around. There's a general rule, many years ago it was $27,000 for the tax department to do what's called a full audit on you, okay? So they've got to work out that you've taken tens and tens of thousands of dollars before they'll actually sort of look at you as somebody to say, okay, let's invest this time and this money to do this audit on you. What they look at in general, they don't look at your bookwork, they don't look at anything. They look at what you were worth, say, 5 years ago. If all up you're worth $1 million 5 years ago, and now you're worth $6 million because you've got properties and houses that you've paid for completely. And so they look at, wait a minute, your wealth has gone up $5 million. Your income says that you earn $200,000 a year after tax. Let's call it after tax. So all up you've earned $1 million, but you've got $5 million worth of assets. That's when they come knocking on the door. They basically see, you're here now, you were there, your income tells us it should be there, please explain this, okay? So that's basically what it is, okay? And it's a very simple rule. Whatever tax you avoided, if you avoided paying $2 million tax, your fine is $2 million, okay? So that's the general of it. So with the normal way of decreasing your tax, accountants will advise to buy, a car or machinery or other bits and pieces. Okay, that's good in one sense, but people many, many years ago in the 30s and 40s, what used to happen was a farmer would have a really good year and he would make $1 million. And so what the tax department back then said, well, if you spend $1 million on tractors, well, you pay no income because you're basically, okay, that's how much you earned, that's how much you spent, including tractors. Now, your tractors and everything get depreciated, okay? So this is where you've got to be very, very careful. A computer will be depreciated over 3 years, okay? But a shipping container will be depreciated over 40 years. So if you went, hypothetically, in the shipping container business, okay, and hired them out, and you bought 100 shipping containers, okay, it will take 40 years for you to depreciate those shipping containers. So in other words, the first year you'll be paying enormous taxes because you can only depreciate it a little bit. Some things are 100% depreciated straight off. There could be small pieces of equipment or other bits and pieces. It depends on your accountant, but look at what your business structure is. Don't, if you have a great year the first year, go out and lease a car and lease a truck and lease this and lease that because your accountant said to bring down your taxable income. Because next year, you might not have that and you've still got all those bills, okay? So some people advise leasing where it's fully tax deductible. I don't, simply because what happens after 5 years, you hand that vehicle back. Right? So you don't own it. If you're paying off the vehicle, you'll pay a little bit more tax on it, but in 5 years, you'll own it. It'll be yours, okay? So once again, look at what your structure is as a business and basically say to yourself, no, I'm not going to lease a vehicle or a truck or anything brand new. I'll stick to my second-hand ones. Second year, if I do really well, then I'll look at something. So start getting, some consistency in your income, because if your income is doing this, especially if you've got something that will work more during summer than winter, and that's a lot of the time it is, okay? You have to go through a few cycles, and it depends on how well you budget, because all of a sudden, if you've got a rent to pay. And let's say you're a small business. So a great example is you're a small business. You have some rent to pay and you've got a couple of staff members, including yourself, and some marketing. So you know that each week you need $5,000. Okay, that's your base. Now, you've had some really great weeks and months and you're making $10,000. And you look at leasing some items and that could cost you $2,000 a week. Okay, so now your base is not 5,000 anymore, it's 7,000. So next year you've got to make that 7,000 each week for the whole year. But if you've leased or bought something for 5 years, you've got to keep that going for 5 years. So this is where, don't get too excited about, you know, making a tremendous amount of money to begin with and then starting to lease. Wait till you've got some consistency. Or if you've had a really great year, okay, and you've paid your taxes, then go and buy the vehicle outright, okay, or buy the item outright, okay, and then you don't have you're still at $5,000 a week that you need to earn, okay, even though you've bought, you know, a vehicle for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, okay, you're still at that 5,000. You haven't increased it, okay. If you're going to do something, the best bet is to increase your marketing to get more to get more phone calls, to get more staff, to create, you know, a bigger business.
So investing in marketing can be a good solution for a lot of things.
Well, I mean, the main thing we've got in, you know, the main thing is get the phone to ring. That's it. You know, like everybody, how do you put it? There is a lot of things in business, but at the end of the day, you need to get the phone to ring and you need to be belly to belly with your customer. In other words, you've got to meet your customer. Otherwise, you haven't got a business. You know, you haven't got a business. And also there's optimal. You know, you might just want to run a business that turns over X many dollars and gives you a great income, and you don't want to go any bigger than that, and that's where you want to sit for the rest of your life. That's cool. Get it there and just plod along happily. You know, and you know, take your holidays and, you know, this and that and the other, and yeah. So the goal is to get whatever you've got up from doing this to evening it out, and then just saying, okay, this is where I want to sit. You know, and I want to go fishing every Friday afternoon. I'm fishing. That's it.